Without wasting any time, we start chapter 5. Okay, chapter 5, Introduction of Networks in Graph Theory. That is the title or the names of this chapter, Network in Graph Theory. Okay, in this chapter, okay, for the introduction, we must know what is graph theory. What is the graph of a graph theory? Okay, we will learn about that. What is network in graph theory? Okay, we will see one by one. Okay, this morning I already asked you to play this game. These two games, which is maze game and 4 in a line game. Okay, if you find the similarities between these two games, is that you form a line between two vertices, right? From the maze, you know how to find the way out from the yellow to the blue. You exit from the maze. Okay, you form a line, or we can call it edges. Later we will see. 4 in a line game. Okay, the second game that I shared to you. That game is you must combine 4 dots. Okay, form a line consisting of 4 dots, so you that can win. Okay, so the dots must be lurus. Okay, in a line. Okay, from this game you can get the idea that we will learn about the network, okay, which is involving the connecting between the lines. Now we continue. What is a graph theory? That's the first one that we will see. What is a graph theory? A graph theory is is a study of a graph. Okay, we'll study about a particular graph, which is that graph which shows or models relation between discrete objects. Okay, for in this chapter, our graph is not like the bar graph that you usually draw in your graph paper. It's not like that kind of graph. It's a different kind of graph. Okay, this is also one of the graph, but we will not see that kind of bar graph or that kind of that have the curved line graph. We will not see that graph. We will see this kind of graph. Okay, which it have an object and the lines that connecting between this object. Okay, this is the graph that we will learn in this chapter. Okay, what is meant by the discrete object is the object is this thing. For example, in this graph that I show you, the object is the fruits. Okay, this is the object: the apple, the pear, the orange, mangosteen, and the lemon. Okay, this is the object for this example. Okay, and then this line is showing that the relationship between the fruits, okay, between the object. Next, what is a graph in a graph theory? Okay, graph is a series of dots which are either linked or not linked to one another by lines. Okay, this is what will we learn today. It's a series of dots. It has dots and line that link or not linked by each other. Okay, there is kind of graph, but it must be linked. Okay, that is the graph in the graph theory. Okay, this is graph. Where is my... Okay, this one. This is the example of the graph in graph theory. It has dot and it has line. So these dots is we call vertex, okay, and we label it as symbol V, okay, small v, okay, small v. If a single dots, we are in the plural tense, and the singular tense is different. Okay, in singular tense we call it as vertex. If it's in plural tense, we call it as vertices. Okay, and it's labeled as symbol V, small v for each dot. Now for the line is we call as H, okay, and we the symbol is small e. Okay, this is H. This line, this three line is we call as H, and then this dot is we call as vertex, or in singular, in plural tense we call it as vertices. Also, you need to know what is the degree mean. D is we symbolized as a degree of a vertex. The degree of a vertex, that means one vertex only, means that this one dot, one vertex, is the number of edge that is connected to other vertices. Okay, that means that the number of edge. What this mean? The number of line that is connected to other vertices. If we take a look for this example, this dot, the number of edge that is connected with another vertices is 2, because this line is connected with these vertices, and this line is connected with these vertices. So the number of degree of this vertex, okay, is 2. That is the rough idea that you will get. Later on we will see how we will solve the problem. Next, you also need to know the sum of degree of a graph, which is twice the number of edges. Okay, the number of edges is how many edge in the graph. Okay, for example, the number of edge in this graph is 3. Okay, 1, 2, and 3. So the sum of degree of graph in this graph is 2 times e. This big E is mean the number of the edge, which is 3. 2 times 3. So the sum of degree for this example is 6. This is the formula to find the sum of degrees of this graph. That is the difference between the degree of a vertex and the difference between the sum of degree of a graph. Okay? Okay. Now we continue. Okay. Just now we already learned what is graph. Okay. Now we take a look what is a network in graph theory. Network, if you pop up in your mind, that you must thinking that Cellcom, DG, Maxis, that's kind of network, right? So that is also related. Okay, means that network is you try to call someone, like, okay, Hanania want to call Fasha from far away, right? So there is a network between these two, because Hanania calling Fasha, so there is a network. Okay, that is kind of the network, which means that a graph in which vertices and or each have attributes or character. The vertex have character or characteristic. Okay, the edge also has the characteristic. For example, okay, this is example in the daily life, which is a social network. Okay, social network. this vertex, okay, this dot, okay, we can label it as individuals, groups, organization, or you can say a community, just like I say right now. Okay, Hanania tried to call Fasha, so this dot will be Hanania and this dot will be Fasha. Okay, and then there is network, a connection between these two, because she want to call her, so there is connection, which we call as network. Okay, there is line between these two person, so the line we can label as a type of relationship. Also, you can say that what type of communication that they use. Are they using voice call? Are they using video call? Okay, that is example for Hanyanya calling Fasha. But how about we using another kind of example? Okay, first we label this person as Eileen. Okay, Eileen, and this is Jamalia. Okay, the bottom one. The top one is Nadia. Okay, there is a connection between these three person. The connection between these three person is either they are friends or they can be a classmate. Okay, that's example, the closer example that I can show to you guys. Okay, this is the formula, which is mean that the graph is denoted by a set of ordered pairs G equal to VE. Okay, this is the big letter V and the big letter E. Just now we see that the small letter V and small letter E, right? That is to label each of the vertex or edge. But this is the big letter V and big letter E. Okay, first we take a look for V, the big letter V. This big V is the set of dots or vertices. Okay, the set of dots or vertices, that is meant by the big V. And this small v is V1, V2, V3. Okay, the first vertex, the second vertex, the third vertex. Okay. Okay, now we take a look for the big E. The big E is mean that the set of edge or lines linking each pair of vertices. Okay, the big E is the set of edge or line. Oops. Okay, there is a mistake in my notes. I will fix it. It's supposed to be small e. So each edge in the graph, we label it as E1, the first edge. Okay, the second edge is E2, the third edge is E3. So the big E is the set. Okay, both of this big letter is sets. Okay, that's why we can say that G is equal to VE, the element of V and E, which is mean that it's consisting of sets of dots and set of edge. Okay, graph. If there is graph, you must think that there is dots of vertex and edge. Okay, that's two important thing. Only that simple. Okay, first we're gonna take a look for simple graph. Okay, the simplest simple graph. which is mean that this graph there is no loops and there is no multiple edge. We call this as simple graph, like this. There is no loops and no multiple edge. Okay, I repeat it twice. So based on the simple graph given, okay, this is the simple graph. We can see that from this graph there is vertices and edges. Okay, this black dots is the vertices, okay, and this blue line is the edges. So the question is to find the set of vertex and the number of vertex. So the solution is like this. The big V is set of vertices, or you can say set of vertex. Okay, the element in the set of vertex is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, this is the element in set of vertices. Then we calculate how many the vertices in the set. Then we calculate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, there is 6 number of vertices in this graph. Okay, that is how we solve the problem for A. Now goes for B. Okay, B, the question asks to find set of edge and the number of edge. Okay. First we take a look for the set of edge. Okay, this is the format to write down the answer, the form of the edge. Okay, which means that this first bracket is bracket 1, 2, right? 1, 2. What is meant by this one is 1, 2, which is from this dot, the dot that labeled as 1 is linked to the dot labeled as 2. 1 is linked to number 2. Okay, these edges we represent in this kind of form, which is bracket 1, 2, or you can write down 2, 1. Either one can. Okay, from this info zone, the edge for the vertex pair 1, 2, okay, from 1 to 2 is also the edge for the vertex pair 2 to 1. You can write 1 to 2, or you can write 2 to 1, but you cannot write down both. Only one. Okay, only one of these. Next, 1 to 5. Okay, from 1 to 5. Then we see again, is there any lines that connects the number 1? There is no any other line, because there is just only 2 lines, which is from 1 to 2 and from 1 to 5. Then we move on to vertex 2. Okay, this vertex 2. Then we list down the edge. Okay, the edge. Okay, now from 2 to 3. So this is 2 to 3, and next is 2 to 4. Okay, 2 to 4. Or you can write 3 to 2 or 4 to 2. But I like to write in the ordered pair. Okay, from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because I don't want to get messy. Okay, saya tak nak keliru dalam nak label jawapan tu. Saya suka bermula daripada nombor yang kecil kepada nombor yang besar. Bermula daripada 1, cari dia punya edge, bila dah habis cari edge, barulah kita move on kepada vertex yang kedua. Okay, lepas tu cari lagi dia punya edge. Okay, dah habis edge untuk vertex nombor 2, cari, lepas tu cari untuk vertex nombor 3 dan seterusnya sampai habis. Okay, like this. Now we move on. Okay, we stop until 2, right? Now we move on to vertex 3. Okay, vertex 3 is linked with 4, 3 to 4, 3 to 4. But why we don't write 3 to 2 again? Because we just only write down once only. Okay, 3 to 2 also the same as 2 to 3. Okay, in this set it's already write down 2 to 3, so you doesn't need to write down 3 to 2. Okay, now we move on to 4, vertex 4. Okay, there is 3 edge that connected from this vertex 4, which is 4 to 3, 4 to 2, and 4 to 5. But we only write down 4 to 5 only, because 4 to 3 is the same with 3 to 4, and 4 to 2 is the same as 2 to 4. Okay, that's why we don't write this anymore. We only write 4 to 5 only. And then we continue to vertex 5. Okay, from vertex 5 it has a link between 5 and 6. So from 5 to 6. Okay, it's already set down that 5 to 1 or 1 to 5 or 5 to 4 or 4 to 5. Okay, that's why we don't write down for this edge anymore. We only write down for this edge. That is how we determine the set of vertex pair. Okay, then we calculate the number of edge in this set. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there is 7 number of edge in this simple graph. So the sum of degree. Okay, the question also asks to find the sum of degree. Okay, just now we already take a look for the formula for the sum of degree, which is 2 times E, which E is the number of edge. Okay, so we substitute the number of edge, which is 7, okay, in this formula. 2 times 7, which is 14. Now we check, is it true that this is 14? Okay, how we check the sum of degree is true 14? We list down the degree of vertex for each of the vertex. Okay, like this. D1 is the vertex 1. The degree of vertex 1 is the number of edge that's connected to another vertices. Okay, there is 2 edge that connected to another vertices, which is 1 to 2 and 1 to 5. That's why it is 2. Now D2, vertex 2. There is 3 line, okay, 3 edge that connected to another vertices, which is this one, 1, 2, 3. So that's why it was 3. And same goes with this other. Then we sum all of this degree. 2, 3, 2 plus 3, 5, 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 3, 10, 10 plus 3 again, 13, and then plus 1, 14. So this is correct. The sum of the degrees of vertex is 14. Okay, that is how. You can see another example in your textbook so that you can understand more clearly. Okay, I only show you some of the example only because we don't have much time. Okay, we already take a look for the simple graph. Now we enter the multiple edge of graph and loops of graph. Okay, there is three kind of graph here, which is the simple graph, the multiple edge, and loops. Okay, what's mean by multiple edge and loops? Okay, multiple edge is mean that involving two vertices. Okay, involving two vertices, which is mean that two dots. Okay, the vertices are connected by more than one edge. Okay, these two dots is connected by more than two lines. Okay, for the simple graph, okay, these two dots only connected by one line only. But for the multiple edge, okay, this picture below, from vertex P and vertex T, you can see that there is two edge. Okay, this is why we call as a graph with multiple edge, because these two vertex have multiple edge. It has more than one edge. Okay, it also can be 3, also can be 4, or as many as it can. Okay, but for your level, okay, maybe I think it's up to 3 edges only. But in my university, it was up more than 5 edge. For your level, high school level, maybe it's 2 to 3 edges only for multiple edge. So this is the example of multiple edge. The sum of degree is twice the number of edge. Okay, it's still the same. The sum of degree is still the same as the simple graph. Okay, now we take a look for the loops. Okay, loops is involving only one vertex. Okay, multiple edge involving two vertex. Meanwhile, loops only involving one vertex, which is the edge is in the form of an arc that starts and ends at the same vertex. Okay, this circle, okay, this circle is we call as loop because it starts with R and end with R. It's turning back to R, like U-turn, right? Okay, you turn back to the what we call posisi yang asal. Okay, kamu patah balik kembali kepada keberadaan yang sama pada permulaannya. That's we call as loop. Okay, it start from R, also end with R, so it's form loop, the circle like tinggi like this. Okay. This vertex S also has loop. Okay, this circle thing, this is we call as loop because it's involving only one vertex, and it's start from S, also end from S. For this vertex R, it start from R and end from R, end to R. But multiple edge is involving two edge. It start from P and end to vertex T, but the edge has more than one. Okay, that is the definition between these two multiple edge and loop. Okay, that is the difference between these two kind of graph that have multiple edge and the graph that have loops. Okay, for the loops, each loops adds 2 to the degree, which is mean that how to say, later on we will see the example. Okay, this is the example. Let the graph given be denoted by a set of ordered pair. Okay, this is in the ordered pair. Okay, G is a group. Okay, and it's consisting of set of V. Okay, set of vertex and set of edge. Then Okay, this is the graph. Okay, it has vertex, it has vertices, it has edge. Okay. Okay, now we list down the set of the vertex, which is this black dot. There is 4 vertex in this graph, which is A, B, C, and D. So this is the element in the set of vertices. Now we list down the element in the set of edge. Okay, we write down one by one. Start from E1. Okay, E1 is from A to B. Also, you can write B to A, but I like to write down from the A in ordered how to say, from A to Z. Okay, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and so on. Okay, from A to B. Okay, this is the E1, and it has multiple edge between these two vertex. Okay, it has multiple edge, which is E1 and E2. So that's why we write down 2 times, A to B, A to B, because it have 2 lines. And then B to C also have 2 edge, or we can say 2 lines, E4 and E3. From B to C and B to C, there is 2 B to C. So this is we call as multiple edge. Okay, this line we must write down here. Okay, as usual, for C to D, you write down C to D, and then B to D, and then A to D. Okay, now for D to D, for the loop problem. Okay, this is the loop. Okay, it start from D, also end to D. Okay, that's why it's D, D. Start from D and end with D also. Okay, this is a loop. Okay, the pair of vertex that we write down in the form of edge. Okay, this is the element in the set of edge, which is, you also can write down E1, E2, E3, E4, E5, E6, E7, E8 if the graph is labeled by this labeling. If it's not labeled by this labeling, you must write down like this one, this first form. Okay, now for the E1, this E1, okay, from this graph, this is the first edge of AB. Okay, A to B, the first one, and then E2 is the second edge of AB, the first edge and the second edge. How about it? How about if the graph added by one more edge, which means that there is 3 edge? You must write down 3 times AB if it have 3 edge. Okay, that is how you list down the set of vertex for a graph that involving multiple of edge and loops. Now for the example, let us do this together. We already see how to determine the set of vertex and set of edge. Now for V. Okay, from this graph, okay, which one is the vertex?
All of them, right? P, Q, R, S, T, U.
Yes, the element of the set of vertex is P, Q, R, S, T, U. So what is the number of the vertex?
6.
Okay, correct. Okay, now we check for the answer. Okay, so the element in the set of vertex is P, Q, R, S, T, U. So the number of the vertex is 6. Now for the edge, okay, B. Okay, we start from P to Q, R, S, T, U. Okay, we start from P to Q to R to S to T and to U. Okay, for P it have 3 edge. Okay, and it also has a multiple edge with vertex U. So we write down PU 2 times. Okay, this is the solution. Okay, this is the PU. PU is double because it have multiple edge. I try to use pen. Okay, this one and this one, and then P to Q. P to Q. Oops. PQ 1 edge. Okay, here. This is the edge of P to Q. Okay, already done for vertex P. Next we go to vertex Q. Vertex Q, okay, also have 3 edge. Q to P doesn't need to write down anymore because we already write P to Q. And then we write down for Q to R. Okay, this Q to R, and then Q to U. Okay, next we move on to R. Okay, it also has 3 edge. This one, and this one. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm using blue color. Oh, red color. Okay, R. We continue from R to Q. We doesn't need to write down anymore because it already has Q to R. Okay, don't write down R to Q. Okay, we write down R to S. Okay, this one R to S, and then R to T. Okay, done for R. Next we solve for S, vertex S. From vertex S also have 3 edge, which is S to R. Okay, doesn't need to write down anymore because I already have here. And then the loops. Okay, loops S to S. Okay, this is the edge for the loops for vertex S. Okay, S to S, and then from S to T. Okay, this one, S to T. Okay, done for vertex S. Next we move on to vertex T. From vertex T also have 3 edge, which is T to S. Doesn't need to write down because already have. T to R also have here, so doesn't need to write down anymore. And then T to U. Okay, now we write down T to U. Okay, done for T. Now we check for U. Okay, if the edge for U already write down by all of this vertex, okay, that's connected with U, so we doesn't need to write down for U anymore. Okay, this is the set of edge in this graph. Okay, so the number of edge is, we calculate the element in this set, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So there is 10 number of edge in this graph. Next we solve for the sum of degrees. Okay, sum of degree is the, we turn back, okay, we look back at the formula, which is 2 times the number of edge. Okay, this is the solution. Sum of degree, okay, this is the formula, 2 times E. E is the number of edge. Okay, the number of edge just now is 10. So we substitute E with 10. So 2 times 10 equal to 20. If you want to check if it's true or if this is correct or not, you can list down the degree of vertex for each vertex. Okay, for vertex P it have 3 edge, for vertex Q it have 3 edge. Okay, I use my highlight. Okay, Q have 3 edge, R also have 3 edge. Okay, this S have 4 edge. Why it have 4 edge? The condition just now for the loops. Okay, this edge we know that we can see it has 3 edge, right? But actually a loop give twice of the edge, which is mean that each loop have 2 edge. So that's mean that these loops have 2 edge, so that's why this is 2. Okay, this is 2. Then it's added by this edge, 1 edge, 2 plus 1 edge, and then plus again with 1 edge, so that's why it's 4. Okay, each loop give 2 edge. Now we take a look for T. T have 3 edge, T to U, T to R, T to S, and the last one is vertex U. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, have 4 edge. You don't need tolong jangan confuse bahawa kalau loops ni, dan ingatkan sekali lagi, dekat loops ni dia ada 2 edge. Sebab tu dia 4, dia bukan 3. Okay, each loop represent 2 edge. Okay, I repeat it many times. Okay, so the sum of degree is 20. We sum all of the degree, so it was 20. Then it's correct. That's why there is the tips up here. Wait a minute. Okay, the degree of a vertex with a loop in an undirected graph. Okay, an undirected graph is mean that this graph doesn't have direction, is 2. Is 2. One in clockwise direction, satu dalam arah pusingan jam, and the other one is in anti-clockwise direction. Satu lagi dalam arah pusingan melawan arah jam, melawan arah jam. Okay, that is why there is 2 edge in this loop. Okay. Okay, now we yes,
we have chemistry today.
You have chemistry class. Okay, so we cannot play this game. Okay, you can try this game. Okay, this one, find the parts for this animal. Okay, you can try this game. I like to try this game with you guys. Also for the draw of the graph. Okay, I will give the link in the Padlet so that you can watch how to draw the graph. Okay, you can continue the lesson after you finish the chemistry class. And then so you need to fill in this bubble map as the conclusion for today's class. Okay, tomorrow I will come again and see how your work. Okay, this is the conclusion. You need to draw graph in this box. Okay, this is the what do you mean, the graph. Okay, this is the simple graph. This is the graph with multiple edge. You need to draw the graph with multiple edge. Okay, you need to fill in this conclusion also. Next, this is the homework for today. After you finish watch the video after you do the bubble map, and then you do your homework. I will explain again in Padlet. Okay. Okay. Thank you for joining our class today. We doesn't make to watch the video, but you can watch it by yourself. Okay, you need to watch it by today because tomorrow we will enter the new subtopic. Okay. Sorry for drag your time, and thank you for joining the class. I will explain in Padlet again. Okay, thank you. You may leave the Google Meet.
Okay, thank you, teacher. Bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Bye.
Good.